Xavier, by fear of.
Xavier danced slowly around the wooden box on the desk in an art classroom, slowly sliding his feet on the ground, rubbing his hands and face against the hard surface. Intimate was the only word to describe it. Xavier stopped moving around the box and stood in front of it. He bent over and pressed his ear against the cold wood, listening for something. He circled his index finger on the box and whispered to himself,
"Hello? Is anyone in there?"
Xavier smiled and closed his eyes and quietly laughed. He put his arms on top of the box and rested his head between them, staying still for a few minutes. He lifted his head and slid his hands down the sides of the box and moved it back and forth.
"Just nod if you can hear me. Is there anyone home?"
He closed his eyes and quietly laughed again. He sighed, and something caused him to go into a fit, coughing repeatedly. Xavier walked to the corner of the room, where there were some various clothing items on the ground and dirty syringes. He jumped and started banging his hands on the counters and paper towel dispensers. Xavier stopped all of a sudden and looked toward the box.
"What?"
he whispered.
"Why are you crying?"
he asked. Xavier walked slowly towards the box on the table, dragging his feet and looking at the ground. He put his ear on the box and spoke again.
"I hear you're feeling down,"
he said. He bent his head back and nearly fell. He grabbed the edge of the table and steadied himself. He stood there, leaning back, with his head tilted up for a few minutes, before continuing his conversation with his friends.
"I can ease your pain. Get you on your feet again."
Xavier went around the side of the counter and opened up one of the drawers. Bending over to reach into the cupboard, he lost his balance and slammed face first into the counter. He stayed on the ground for a few minutes before getting back up. He reached into the drawer and pulled out 2 severed human legs.
"Here you go, friend. You'll feel better now,"
he said. The room was silent as Xavier pushed the legs against the box, as if trying to connect them. He stood straight up again and looked into space. Attempting to fix his hair, he patted it down and pulled at it, but with no success.
"Can you show me where it hurts?"
he asked as he bent down towards the box, staring at it intently. Xavier removed a tool from the drawer and stabbed a hole in the front of the box. He proceeded to put his finger through the hole, all the while a smile on his face. Xavier passed out and woke up 3 hours later, just as the sun was shining in through the windows of the classroom. As he woke up, he walked over to the fire extinguisher case. He opened it, and out came a human arm.
"Xavier Ham, are you okay?"
Judge Ermy said as Xavier began to breathe heavily in a straitjacket. "This is just a side effect of not having heroin for a couple of days. His body is struggling. He's experiencing withdrawal, Your Honor," Xavier's attorney said.
"I blacked out, Your Honor. I was reliving what I did. Thank you for reminding me,"
Xavier said, a smile on his face.
"Give him a glass of water so we can move on with this,"
the judge said. The prosecuting lawyer stood up and addressed Xavier. "Mr. Ham, you are being tried for 3 murders, and you say, 'What I did.' It's like you're asking to go to prison. The first murder, Anna Reynolds, whose severed head was found in a wooden art supply box, whose body is still missing, you are saying you did this? The second murder, Brian Thompson, whose severed legs were found, but his body was never recovered. You did this as well. And the third, John Lee, whose severed arm was found, but his body missing as well. What I did, you say? You've basically admitted your guilt. I rest my case, Your Honor.
The jury may deliberate,
the judge said. A few minutes later, the jury re-entered the room and sat back in their seats. A jury member stood and faced the judge. We, the jury, find the defendant, Xavier Ham, guilty in the murders of Anna Reynolds, Ryan Thompson, and John Lee.
Upon receiving the guilty verdict from the jury, I hereby sentence Xavier Ham to death by electric chair,
Judge Ermy said. Xavier, standing next to his lawyer, grinned.